On February 19, 1942, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066 due to suspicions of Japanese spies in the U.S. This decision caused the forced internment of over 120,000 Japanese American people in the western United States without a trial. The incarceration caused lifelong mental trauma, such as anxiety and feelings of isolation, as Japanese Americans face discrimination, alienation, and a violation of their 14th Amendment right when the U.S. government failed to uphold its legal and social responsibility to Japanese Americans.
In America, the Sixth Amendment was established in the Bill of Rights and gives any citizen the right to a quick and unbiased trial. The 14th Amendment was established after the Civil War and provides equal rights and protection under the law for all American citizens. America had these rights, but dictators around the world wanted to take them away. In 1939, World War II started over territorial sovereignty and discourse of race. The Nazis wanted to seize Germany and force the belief that the Aryan race was a superior race. In September of 1940, officials from Germany, Japan, and Italy wrote and signed the Tripartite Pact. This agreement formed the Axis powers. The Tripartite Pact had its signees assist one another with all political, economic, and military means. After the signing of the Tripartite Pact, Japan became formally involved with Germany. However, America didn't want to join World War II immediately because Congress didn't want to get involved in foreign conflicts. Pearl Harbor is a naval military base in Hawaii that had been used since 1908. On December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor was bombed in a surprise attack by the Japanese. The bombing of Pearl Harbor killed thousands of people and destroyed a large portion of the U.S. fleet stationed there and many pieces of military equipment. Japan made the attack on the U.S. because the U.S. stopped trade of important war materials with Japan because America didn't approve of their war with China. Another goal of the Japanese was to cripple the American naval forces to prevent America from interfering with their planned expansion across Southeast Asia. Because of Japan's actions, America joined World War II the day after the bombing. Once America joined the war, America was on the side of the Allies, which were fighting against Japan and Germany, so Japanese people were already being made to look bad. Japanese Americans, before America joined World War II, had the same rights as any other American citizen.
In 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt gave Executive Order 9066, turning on all Japanese Americans. Executive Order 9066 authorized the military to exclude any civilians from militarized areas. This eventually led to upwards of 120,000 Japanese American people getting relocated to internment camps. In the camps, they would have to deal with cramped living conditions, inadequate sanitation, bad weather, no privacy, and poor food quality. The lives of the many Japanese American people that were incarcerated were not being considered when they were in these camps. Despite the vast age range of people in the camps, they all received the same treatment. This was all while being treated like they were criminals, even though they were innocent. Most of the Japanese American people that got incarcerated didn't get any trial at all, violating their Sixth Amendment right, and they did not have equal rights compared to other citizens, which violated their 14th Amendment right. Reputable sources evoked the general public to consider anyone who looked Asian to be bad, according to government reports. Rumors also started circulating of Japanese spies sending information to Japanese submarines off of the West Coast. Though Executive Order 9066 did catch a couple of Japanese spies, it made life horrible for hundreds of thousands of people.
After Executive Order 9066 was issued, life became much worse for anybody that was Japanese in America. Thousands of people lost their homes and businesses due to failure to pay taxes. After internment, Japanese Americans came home to large amounts of debt as they had lost their businesses. Because they were forced to leave their homes, lost their rights, and were treated differently, many Japanese Americans felt as if they weren't American.
Aside from tricking people into giving the government reason to believe they were spies, they also released propaganda videos that misled the public into thinking that the experience of internment for Japanese Americans was a lot better than it actually was.
They gathered in their own churches and schools, and the Japanese themselves cheerfully handled the enormous paperwork involved in the migration. Civilian physicians made preliminary medical examinations. Government agencies helped in 100 ways. They helped the evacuees find tenants for their farms. They helped businessmen lease, sell, or store their property. Now, this aid was financed by the government, but quick disposal of property often involved financial sacrifice for the evacuees.
The events described in this video are inaccurate compared to the treatment that Japanese Americans received during the process of migration, as the government wanted to cover up their unacceptable actions.
The tensions with Japan also led to prejudice from other Americans against Japanese Americans. The government realized the injustice in internment and passed Public Law 100-383, the Civil Liberties Act of 1988, to ensure that this event would never happen again. Japanese American incarceration was a mix of racism and citizenship. It brought out a lot of anger from Japanese Americans that felt betrayed by their own country as they were accused on the basis of their heritage. A large portion of the Japanese Americans that were incarcerated suffered from psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, and feelings of isolation. Due to the unjust actions made in the past, in 1988, the Civil Liberties Act gave all internment camp survivors compensation of $20,000 to each victim. It's important that the government and the citizens of America learn from this tremendous mistake as to never send a large amount of people into internment based on their race again.
It's the United States government's legal responsibility to make sure that all of the rights of the citizens of America are respected. When Executive Order 9066 was issued, the government failed in this responsibility. When the government should have been helping its citizens, it betrayed them and violated the rights of the people they were supposed to protect. Japanese American status as American citizens was diminished. The failure in the United States government in upholding the Constitution caused a large amount of pain and suffering for hundreds of thousands of people, as well as division of the people of the United States. The actions caused by Executive Order 9066 were not justifiable.